Fall is a 2022 survival thriller film. It's about two women who climb a 2,000 feet tall radio tower and get stranded at the top with no way down. Close companions Dan, Becky's husband, loses his balance and falls to his death while they are hiking up a mountain with Becky and Hunter. In the nearly a year since then, Becky has become unhappy and alcoholic. She no longer speaks to her father, James, after he expressed doubts about Dan being her ideal partner. On the eve of the one-year anniversary of Dan's passing, Hunter suggests that she take solace in the therapeutic act of scattering his ashes from the top of a disused 2,000-foot TV tower in the desert. Becky first declines, but ultimately agrees to travel so that she can put Dan's death behind her. Hunter and Becky start the mountain the following day. Becky releases Dan from her grip at the summit by scattering his ashes. The rusty ladder falls apart just as they start their descent, leaving them stranded hundreds of feet above the next undamaged segment. Worse, their water and drone backpack has landed on a communications dish that is just out of reach of their rope. Hunter, who is miles from civilization, is sure that rescuers are on their way since they heard the falling ladder. They try to make a phone call, but they think the communications dish is causing radio interference. Hunter packs her phone into one of her shoes and purposefully drops it off the tower, hoping to reach her 60,000 online followers for assistance. However, the padding in the shoe was insufficient, and the phone was shattered before the message could be sent. The two later spot an RV in the area, wherein two guys are camped. After waiting for nightfall, they use a flare gun taken from the tower's emergency supply box. The guys see, but rather than offer assistance, they take off in Hunter's Ford Bronco. A tattoo of the numbers 143, which Dan used to tell Becky he loved her, can be seen on Hunter's ankle as darkness falls. Hunter sobs and apologizes to Becky, admitting that they had an affair for 4 months, which Dan drunkenly instigated and maintained until shortly before the wedding day. After realizing his mistake, Hunter returns the next day to get the backpack before they perish from thirst. Hunter successfully ties the backpack to the rope's end, then makes the leap to the rope and ascends. As Becky charges the drone using the tower's red lamp, Hunter suggests that she send a written plea for assistance via the drone to the diner a short distance away. However, the drone is destroyed when it is struck by a huge vehicle. After several days of starvation and dehydration, Becky has a moment of clarity during which she realizes that she has been hallucinating Hunter's presence, and that he actually perished when he fell from the communications dish. Becky is awoken the next day by a vulture picking at her leg wound. She kills the bird and uses it as food. After sending a text message to her father, Becky climbs down to the dish and pushes Hunter's body off the tower in an effort to attract attention. Emergency services are notified after James's communication goes through. He makes a beeline for the tower to find his rescued daughter and make amends. I think the film's conclusion was excellent. The cinematography is sharp and not at all trite. It effectively emphasizes the mounting strain of their predicament. Acrophobia, the fear of heights aside, I found the suspense to be excellent. The set, which included a mountain and a miniature of the tower's summit, was particularly eerie. It's incredible because it made me physically unwell in a manner that no other thriller had. Personally, I can't get enough of suspenseful survival flicks, but I also enjoy other types of thrillers and horror. I've seen them all: disaster, apocalypse, Lost in the Subways, and other survival flicks. There has never been a film to which I have had a more immediate and physical reaction than Fall. My hands were constantly damp with perspiration. My heart was racing so hard that I had to stop for a moment. Not because of any graphic violence, but because of how far it took my acrophobia. I felt physically ill while watching it. This is one of the things I look for when choosing a scary movie to watch. At times, I had the same sickening feeling in my stomach as when you first drop on a roller coaster or gaze over a cliff and realize how high you actually are.